Hey, I'm Kensington Tallman, and I play Riley Anderson in Pixar and Disney's Inside Out 2, and you're watching Pop Culture with Pat. Make sure to watch Inside Out 2 to feel all the feels.
Hey guys, welcome back to Pop Culture with Pat. So I'm so excited to be joined by today's guests. Today we are going to be talking all things Inside Out 2 with Kensington Tallman, who's playing Riley in the film. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me, Pat. I'm so excited.
You are very welcome. Yeah, like I said, I'm super excited to talk to you. I love the first Inside Out. Can't wait to, see the Inside Out 2 coming out this week. To just kind of start things off for you, what can you just talk about the journey of joining Inside Out 2 in the first place?
Yes, so I have really grown up with Riley, and I feel so blessed to play such an iconic character. I watched the first film on my sixth birthday, and I had just moved to New York at that time, and so I was really missing my home, just like Riley, and I was feeling exactly what Riley was feeling. And I remember leaving the theaters just bawling my eyes out. And I really used Riley as such a relatable character throughout, adolescence. And I've really grown up with her. And at 13, I got the audition for Inside Out 2. At first, I didn't know what it was, but then I slowly started to figure it out. I officially started working on the project at 14 in 2023. And I got to fly to Pixar, which is absolutely incredible. It's basically like Disneyland. It's so cool. It's so fun. And I got to work with our incredible creatives at Pixar, Kelsey Mann, our director, Mark Nielsen, our producer, and our animators and our whole team. And, we really broke down Riley and, how she is in her teenage years, because your teenage years are very different than your kid years. And I really just brought myself to her. We were feeling the exact same feelings. I was going through my own journey with anxiety. I've struggled with anxiety for a long time, and before I started the project, I thought it was something I should hide or be ashamed of. But as I started playing her, I realized that it's okay. It's okay to not be okay. Anxiety is totally normal. I'm not alone in this. And I think as other teenagers watch this film, I think they're going to feel a sense of belonging, and they're going to know that they're not alone in this, because adolescence can be hard at times. So I think this film just really shows the human experience and those ups and downs of adolescence.
That's really cool that, you connected with the film so personally. And I believe, if correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't in the film, isn't Riley 13 or turning 13 like as well? So, I mean, everything just kind of lining up for you. And I know it's a lot of people's, one of their favorite, Pixar films of all time too. So congratulations, again on getting the role, getting the role of a lifetime, I feel like. I was going to ask you actually about like what your relationship was with the original film, but you kind of, you tackled it like right there. So where Riley's a teenager now, taking over the role of the character for this film, how did you want to approach playing her? Did you, obviously there's a difference between, like you said, childhood and teenage years, but how did you want to approach that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I really wanted to stay true to the Riley we saw in the first film because, she's very fun and happy and joyful. But I also wanted to kind of mix my own, uniqueness and messiness and teenagerness in with that. So I think I watched the first film, at least like 10 or 20 times, and I would watch it every time I would, before every time I would record. And then I would just bring my own, experiences to the character. And our director, Kelsey, just really was incredible. He just gave everything. He let us improv and let us go off script and, make it really authentic. And I think you really, really see that on screen. And so, yeah, I brought my silly, goofy, messy self to the project. And, I used my own relationship with anxiety and envy and ennui and embarrassment to really drive Riley.
Now, so were there any, like, you kind of like hinted at it there, were there any specific experiences that you did kind of draw from your own personal life when bringing Riley to life?
Yes, so I don't want to give too much away, of course, but there is a scene in the film towards the end where Riley is saying over and over to herself, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, I'm not good enough. And I was like crying when I recorded that because I can't even count how many times I've said those words to myself and in my brain. And it's just so sad to think about that. What we say to ourselves is so important. And I think it really just gave me a new perspective, to love myself inside and out, the messy, the good, the bad, and to know that I am good enough and I don't have to, try and be someone perfect. We're human. We make mistakes and that's okay.
I see what you did there with loving yourself inside and out. Nice little pun. New emotions obviously get introduced in this film. We see those like in the trailer. What was it like getting to explore those changes occurring within Riley?
Yes, so this Inside Out 2 is absolutely amazing. We see our five core original emotions: joy, sadness, anger, embarrassment, sorry, joy, sadness, anger, disgust, and sadness. And, we see them all working together. And then we have these four new emotions that come in: anxiety, envy, ennui, embarrassment. And yeah, I just really pulled from my experiences, but especially anxiety, because anxiety is such a relatable character and such a relatable emotion. I feel like we all feel it at some points in our life.
Yeah.
Um, and there's been times where, I've had those anxiety attacks. I felt really, really anxious. So I just, remember those times and brought that to those scenes, which is incredible. But I think what's really special about Inside Out 2 is our filmmakers have put faces to these complex characters, and I think it's so special because we're able to visualize what's going on inside our brains, because the human brain is so complex and there's so much going on in there. And so to see them represented through animation and humor and comedy just gives us such peace, I feel like, and such an incredible way to deal with our emotions.
Yeah, I mean the animation and everything is gorgeous as always. It is with Pixar. So, and yeah, no, I think it was a really smart idea to bring specifically over an emotion like anxiety, just where that's something that's been a hot topic for the past like several years, and great something to that's great to explore in this kind of film. What new emotion most excited you to see introduced in this movie and just play out in the film overall?
Would do say anxiety because I had my own struggles with anxiety, and I feel like anxiety is so relatable. And I think it's something that as humans we try to hide and are ashamed of, and it can feel really isolating at times, especially for teens coming off, post-pandemic. Anxiety is real and it can feel very isolating. But I was so excited to see her represented on screen, because it gave me this sense of belonging to know that, hey, yeah, this is what's going on in my brain. It's totally normal. It's okay to not have it all figured out. She's there to help us. And I think that's also a really important part of the film is anxiety is not a villain. She's trying her best. She wants to help Riley. She's doing what she thinks is best for her. And I think that was so important, just in my own relationship with anxiety, to know like, hey girl, I see you. You're here. I appreciate you. You can take a deep breath. It's all going to be okay. Nothing's happened yet. So I think that was a really special part of the film.
Yeah, I think all the emotions, it's important too to realize that they all have their part to play. Like you said, none of them are a villain in any way, just how you're able to manage them.
Yeah.
And I think these films, I haven't had a chance to see Inside Out 2 yet, but I imagine this film, just like the first one, does a good job of tackling that. So how has playing Riley affected how you're able to manage your own emotions? Has it given you a new perspective on how you kind of look at these different feelings?
Oh, yes, 100%. By playing Riley, it's truly given me a new perspective on mental health and, just my own relationship with anxiety, especially. I think by seeing these characters and visualizing them, it's been able to give me like a way to visualize them in my brain and recognize each emotion and appreciate them because they're there to help us and say, hey, I see you. This is great. Let's take a deep breath. I know you guys just want to help me, but take a deep breath. We got this. And especially with anxiety, there's a scene at the end of the movie where the emotions all come together and they're like, anxiety, it's okay. You just sit in your chair over here, you relax, you've done your work, you're amazing. And they give her like a little cup of tea to relax. So anytime I'm feeling a little anxious, I do that in my brain. I'm like, okay, anxiety, get yourself a cup of tea, girl. You're all right. Take a chill pill. You're okay.
I'm a very visual learner as well, so I think I'd be kind of along the same lines as you. And by the way, too, shout out to Maya Hawke who plays Anxiety in the film because I've heard nothing but amazing things about her in the movie.
Oh my gosh. I was talking to her yesterday. She is not only the most talented person I've ever met and just so perfect for anxiety, but she's just also like the sweetest, kindest, most down to earth person. I have nothing but positive things to say about her. She was just so kind. She is absolutely amazing. And I think she really brings so much love and joy and life to anxiety because anxiety is often misunderstood. You know, she's often seen as that villain, but what Maya has done is she's made her very likable and she's given her a face, which I think is really, really special.
I don't know if you've a fan of this show Stranger Things at all, but it's like her playing the character Robin. Like thinking of that now, it's like that's I don't know, perfect casting to me just because of that character. I could totally see her playing a character like Anxiety in this film. So, can't wait to check out and see, what she does in the movie for sure. So just like overall, I guess. I mean, you mentioned for the new ones, it's Anxiety, it sounds like, but do you have a favorite emotion overall in the film, including, even the old ones as well?
Oh, this is such a great question. I mean, I love each and every one of them. I really love the relationship between anxiety and joy, and kind of that struggle between the two, because they at the end of the film they come together and they learn to kind of coexist and have that healthy balance of joy and anxiety. But I also really love the relationship between sadness and embarrassment. It is so sweet. There's been some posts that Pixar has made of like sadness and embarrassment together, and they really just work together. They have kind of like the same energy, and I love that. They are so cute, so sweet together. I don't want to give it away, so I'm not going to say too much, but when you watch Inside Out 2, you will see like this beautiful friendship forming between sadness and embarrassment.
Okay, I can't wait for that, and I could see it just from like the trailers and the clips and stuff that we've gotten so far. When you reflect on your time of working on Inside Out 2, what are just some of your favorite memories from working on the film overall?
Oh my goodness. I mean, there's been so many amazing core memories made throughout this process. I think um, one of my favorite memories was recording with Kelsey, our director, and then Sumai Norden Green, who plays Bree, and Grace Liu, who plays Grace. And it's very rare that you get to record with other voice actors in an animated film. But we got to record a couple sessions together, and we just had so much chemistry. And I think you really see that on screen. And our director, Kelsey, is the most amazing director. I love him so much. He just really gives everything to this project. He brings so much love and joy and really just kind of let us be and let us feel those feels. Which I think was so incredible. And then I think also a really fun core memory. This is kind of fun. So I was filming a show in Rome at the time, 2 years ago, and I had to do scratch, and so I had like one day off from work, and so I flew from Rome, Italy, to New York City to record the scratch for Inside Out 2. And it was like 24 hours, but it was so nice to, be home and see New York City and stuff. But I remember Kelsey was just talking to me about the film and about anxiety. I got to see Riley for the first time as a teenager. I'm getting chills now thinking about it. Because I hadn't seen any of the visuals yet. And so it was just such a special moment between me and Kelsey. And yeah, that was one of my favorite core memories.
That's cool, man. Talk about what a trip, that must have been, and just a whirlwind, like you said, coming back there to do that in the one day. What was your favorite thing to see kind of play out? Although maybe it was that, like what you mentioned right there, to see kind of play out from going from, script or even like recording stuff, in the booth to seeing the film finished and everything animated and everything. What was kind of without going into spoilers, I guess.
Oh my goodness. No, that's a fantastic question. Because like you said, when you record, you don't really know what's going to end up in the final film, and it's such a journey. I don't get the whole script. I just get like my parts, and we change it so many different times to make it truly what it is. And so when I saw it for the first time, oh my gosh, it was so special. I think my favorite part was just seeing how it all came together and seeing how anxiety and joy work together because they do. And they really do work together and they learn to mesh. And I also love the friendship between Riley, Grace, and Bree, and how they kind of come to peace and how they come to terms together. So it was just such a beautiful moment after like the climax, seeing everything resolved, and like Riley just kind of taking a deep breath and taking it all in, and being in the present moment. So that was a beautiful moment in the film, and I'm really excited for you guys to see that.
I can already tell that this is definitely going to be a movie. I think that a lot of people are going to be crying by the end of the movie, which I mean, the first one had the same effect, so I don't expect anything, less from part two. I don't know if you've like had the chance to kind of like think about this, but what are some emotions that you would maybe like to see Riley explore in future, Inside Outs, Inside Out 3 or, et cetera?
Oh, that's a great question. I have to think about this. I would say, I mean, I'm trying to think. I love how they brought in nostalgia because I feel like that is
That's a
so
great one.
so real because even as teenagers we experience nostalgia and we experience, oh man, that was, I missed that part of that. Um, I don't even know. I would say I guess maybe like awe or something like that. Like wow,
Okay.
like kind of that emotion of like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Like I'm here, you know?
Yeah.
Um, there's so many incredible things, as humans that we get to experience. So I feel like that would be a really fun emotion to play of like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Oh my gosh, because yesterday at the premiere, I was definitely like, oh my gosh,
That
what is
was kind of
happening?
you.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, I think that would be a great one. I mean, there's so many different like emotions and stuff I feel like that you could explore, tackle in these type of films. So hopefully, fingers crossed that, maybe we do get like an Inside Out 3, I'm hoping. What was, I guess, just like overall for you, just what was your experience getting to work on a Pixar film? Because it's, these films are just held in such a high regard, among fans and, critics all over the world. So what was just that overall kind of experience like for you?
Oh my gosh, it was so surreal being in a Pixar film. I mean, I've been the biggest Pixar fan for as long as I can remember. I've watched every Pixar movie you can imagine. I feel like Pixar has really been there for me through all the moments of my life. And I think what's so special is that Inside Out 2 is really going to be there for kids. These movies are meant to inspire, they're meant to tell stories, and they're meant to do it through a funny, clever, animated lens, which I think is really special. And, just working with our director was so incredible. And just being there was, oh my gosh, just unlike anything I've ever experienced before because these movies have such an impact on people. And I think, to be a part of that is just so incredible. And I'm so happy that, I get to play Riley and I get to show kids, it's okay to not always be okay sometimes. And it's okay to make mistakes because we're human and we're not perfect and that's okay.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean, this is going to be a film that's going to be revisited over and over again by, by kids, by families. That's like one of my favorite things about, a lot of the Pixar films is that, they're certainly, kids can enjoy them, but then you have, adults can enjoy them as well because there's, different themes and messages that are, explored in there. And it's something that you can come back over and over again and take something new out of it each time that you watch the film as well.
Oh, 100%. Yes, this film is meant for everybody. And I think that's really incredible because not many films are able to cater to every audience.
Yeah.
And Pixar really does such a great job of that, of making these films accessible for everybody of all ages across the whole world. And I think Inside Out too, it just has so many different themes, like you said, that can relate to each age group and relate to everybody across the world.
What can fans just expect from the film, for the people who haven't got a chance to see it like yet? What can fans expect from the film? And where can fans just kind of keep up to date with you and all your future projects moving forward?
Yes, thank you so much. So, for Inside Out 2, you can expect lots of laughs. This film is so funny. Our animators and our directors and our whole team at Pixar have done such a great job of incorporating humor into this project. I was laughing so hard the other night when I was watching it. But it also really touches the heart. It really focuses on, what goes on inside our brain. And so you're going to see so many different things from Riley. You're going to see Riley kind of start to change. And, as we go through adolescence, we change, of course. But Riley kind of takes an interesting turn. And so I'm excited for you guys to see that. And I'm really excited for you guys to see the relationship between each emotion, but especially joy and anxiety. And then, yeah, you guys can follow me on all platforms. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, X, Threads, all of it. It's just Hey Kensington.
Perfect. Well, Kensington, I will make sure to put that down below in the description. And yeah, like I said, I think that fans watching this film are going to be going through all the emotions by, the end of the movie for sure. I just want to say, thank you so much again, Kensington, for coming on the show, talking about the film, your character. It was just really cool to talk about, like I said, the relationship that you have, with Pixar, almost having like a full circle moment, getting to, work on a movie on this. So congratulations again.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me today. I had so much fun.
I had so much fun too. And yeah, you're welcome back anytime in the future.
Thank you. Hey, I'm Kensington Tallman, and I play Riley Anderson in Pixar and Disney's Inside Out 2, and you're watching Pop Culture with Pat. Make sure to watch Inside Out 2 to feel all the feels.